Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to Post Cologne. Today I'm going to be unboxing 3 new Middle Eastern fragrances, including Ahmed Al Maghribi Soft. So let's jump into it. All right, we are back with another unboxing first impressions video of 3 new Middle Eastern fragrances that I recently picked up. We got one from Rayhaan, one from Wataniah, and we got that Ahmed Al Maghribi. Pretty excited about all these. Links gonna be down in the description if you decide you want to check any of these out. Also have some coupon codes. Save yourself $5, 5% off various discounters if you decide you want to shop with them. So pretty stoked on these. I've been really impressed with all 3 of these houses so far. So let's quit screwing around and let's get into it. All right, so kicking things off, going to the house of Rayhaan with Rayhaan's Cordova. Now you can scoop this up for about $30 at places like Beauty House, and this is from their leather collection. I opened up one previous week, which was Corium. Really enjoyed that one, so let's see about this one, shall we? All right, and there we have the box presentation for Rayhaan's Cordova. Pretty straightforward cardboard box, got a little bit of texture on here, some kind of Arabic script that's in there, but through and through, typical cardboard box. Check out the bottle. All right, and there we have the bottle presentation for Rayhaan's Cordova. Got kind of a nice embossed, Arabic writing similar to the box right there on this kind of faux leather casing that's there. You get a little glimpse of the bottle and the juice on the top and the bottom there. Cap on this, lightweight plastic, but it's got some thickness to it so it won't crush in my powerful hands. And the atomizer on this, nice atomizer, good distance, good long sprays on that one. Will definitely get the job done. But what does this smell like? So right out the gates, just smelling this in the air, very strong leather fragrance, has this nice kind of sharp cypress style of note that's mixing in there as well. So it's got a real kind of nice rugged masculine style of leather and just a little bit of an amberiness coming up. So there's like a little hint of some sweet, but for the most part, this is a very bold, dark, realistic leather with that cypress mixing in there. It's giving off that kind of Gucci Guilty Absolute style of vibes right now. Quite nice. Let's get this on paper. Yeah, so right out the gate, just smelling this off the test strip, really nice cypress note that's coming through. Has like this sharpness to it, almost kind of like a sappiness to it, but there's like a fresh element to it. So it's kind of like a brisk spring morning style of cypress. Mixes in with a little bit of earthiness from like some patchouli that comes through, some additional woods, but a nice realistic leather note as well. Kind of a dark leather note that's coming through. Has a little bit of a bold masculine sort of vibe going on to it, pairing with those earthy notes and that wood notes. This is a very deep, rich, dark, leathery style of fragrance. Digging it. Yeah, and as this is opening up a little bit more, there is some amber that's coming in from the base, so it's adding a nice kind of texture to it. Little hint of some sweetness coming through, but some more woody notes are starting to come forward as well. So it's balancing off against that leather note. So it's a very leather woody fragrance with just a little hint of some sweet coming through, just to balance things off, kind of pull things down from being like too rugged, too sharp, too piney, sappy, cypressy. And it's just kind of mixing together all really nice. This is a very refined smelling fragrance right now. It's fantastic. Yeah, I'm digging this one. This has got like an interesting balance. It's kind of like a rugged, sophisticated thing going on at the same time, but a very masculine style of fragrance, and it's really giving off that Gucci Guilty Absolute style of vibe. So enjoying this one so far, but let's skip to the dry down, see how this unfolds, and we'll go from there. All right, back with the dry down of Rayhaan's Cordova. It's been about an hour. Let this settle down, do its own thing. The dry down on this is fantastic. It still maintained that leathery cypress earthiness to it, but it toned it down a little bit. The woody notes came forward a little bit more, and the amber came forward a lot more. So it has a nice kind of smooth, almost vanillic sweetness that's worked its way in there with those woods, kind of like drizzled on top of those woods with that leather cypress accord sitting on top. So really nice mix of that earthiness, that leather, that woods with a nice balance of that sweetness comes through, and just really smoothed out in the dry down. It was kind of sharp in that opening with that cypress, which is enjoyable. Like it's just a different kind of flavor at that point, but this really transitioned to a nice smooth style of fragrance in the dry down, and I'm really loving this one. It just works. It still has that masculine boldness to it, but it's got like a lot more kind of sophisticated with that kind of smooth texture that's come through with that little hint of sweetness. I'm really liking this one. This is pushing off pretty good too, so I think this is going to be a decent performer. I'll have to get back to you guys and let you know, but for $30, pending performance, really pleased with the pickup on this one. That's Rayhaan's Cordova. All right, next up, going to the house of Wataniah with Wataniah's Eternal Zam. Now I scooped this up for $29 and don't know anything about this fragrance. I just saw it on, I think it was Perfume Online is where I purchased this one, and just said, hey, Al Wataniah's been doing some good stuff, so let's try it out, shall we? All right, and there we have the box presentation for Al Wataniah's Eternal Zam. Really nice box, nice thick cardboard. It has this kind of like fuzzy, almost kind of suede texture to it. Nice kind of shimmery gold plate on there with that kind of design. And it does open up like so, revealing our fragrance bottle on the inside, kind of the iconic emblem there. Now I think this is a henjar, like a Arabic dagger of some sort. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's what this is. Bottle presentation on this, quite nice. It's got some nice rounded corners on it, kind of a frosted glass look to it with this kind of metal henjar sitting up front, and it's definitely got some weight to it. So bottle presentation, quite nice. Cap on this is a mix of metal and plastic, so it's got a little bit of weight to it. And the atomizer on this bad boy. Fat sprays, doesn't go too far. Decent, will get the job done. But what does this smell like? So right out the gates, just smelling this in the air. Kind of surprised by this one. This one's a little bit more like on the floral side than I thought it was going to be. So it's picking up on some like violet, a little bit of like this green watery touch, some lily of the valley, and it's got this kind of woody birchiness to it at the same point. But there's like a bouquet of different florals that are in here and mixing it with some woods, a little bit of sweet notes going on to this. It's interesting. This is like unisex, but it's, even though it's floral, it's still kind of leaning a little masculine at this point. But let's get this on paper. Let's dive in. Yeah, so right off the rip, just smelling this off paper, this is very interesting. This is like a boozy floral style of fragrance. So it's got that kind of watery green, lily of the valley, a little bit of rosiness that's in here as well. I think I'm getting some orange blossom, some violet that's mixing in here. So like a bouquet of different florals that are adding different green touches, different sweet touches, almost kind of different textures. But there's this kind of nice warm boozy accord that's kind of coming in with this, and a little bit of that woody note that I was mentioning. So this is interesting. I'm digging this. Yeah, as it's opening up a little bit more, the lily of the valley is pushing forward a lot more, so it has this green touch to it, that watery touch, but there's also a little bit of a sharpness going on to it, a little bit more of a rosiness, so it's a nice sweet rose that's coming forward, and it's mixing in with this like rum accord at the base that's just really giving it kind of that boozy effect, a little bit of that warmth, some additional sweetness, and just like that masculine edge I was talking about. So it has those florals, but because of that boozy aspect, it is pushing this into the masculine territory versus being kind of a unisex style of fragrance. A little bit of those woody notes are coming through. There's a little bit of an ambery texture there, like little hints of some vanilla coming from the base, but you're mostly getting those florals, that booziness with just that little kiss of woods. I'm digging this one. This is interesting, this one. Yeah, I'm liking this one. This doesn't remind me of anything that I don't know if this is a clone of anything, and if it is, it's something that I probably haven't smelt before, because this isn't ringing any bells at this point, but it is quite nice. But let's skip to the dry down, see how this unfolds, and we'll go from there. All right, back with the dry down of Al Wataniah's Zam. Been about an hour, let it settle down, do its own thing. This didn't change a whole lot. It's still maintaining that floral kind of essence to it. So it's got that lily of the valley still there, adds that kind of green watery touch, bit of a sharpness coming through as well. There's some rosiness that's in there, little hint of some like orange blossom as well, but for the most part it's just kind of a bouquet of floral notes that's mixing in with this birch note that came forward a lot more. So it has this nice birchy aspect to it, a little bit of an earthiness with some patchouli, and it still maintains that kind of that rum booziness that's there. Not as strong as it was in the opening and the mid, but you still get that kind of that masculine edge to it with that rum note that's pushing its way forward, and a little bit more vanillas come forward. So you get kind of a nice additional sweetness moving in with those florals and kind of like running up against the earthiness, that birch that comes through, just making this a really unique fragrance. Not sure if this is gonna be for everybody necessarily, because it is kind of unique. It's not your typical kind of dumb reach style of fragrance, but it's very interesting, and I am digging this, and I'm curious how this kind of changes when I get it on skin. So gonna have to get back to you guys, let you know, give you a full review on this one, tell you how it performs. It's not jumping off the paper right now, so we'll have to wait and see. But overall, I think this is a very unique fragrance, and I am enjoying it so far. So for 29 bucks, pending performance and how this performs on my skin, decent pickup. That's Al Wataniah's Zam. All right, last, but hopefully not least, going to the house of Ahmed Al Maghribi with Ahmed Al Maghribi's Soft. Safe? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Comment down below if I butchered that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Picked this up for $35 at Perfume Online, and Again, don't know anything about this one. I've been on the hunt for Ahmed Al Maghribis of all different sorts because they've impressed me so far, and I'm curious about this one, so let's dive in. All right, so there we have the box presentation for Ahmed Al Maghribi Soft. I'm sticking with that pronunciation. Typical cardboard box. Let's check out the bottle. All right, and there we have the bottle presentation for Ahmed Al Maghribi Soft. Nice frosted glass, has this kind of gradient going through. This is a 50 ml bottle. That's why it looks so tiny. I don't have giant hands. Cap on this is a lightweight plastic, but it's got some thickness to it so it won't crush. And the atomizer on this. Ooh, nice atomizer for a tiny little bottle. Good distribution, nice wide puffs, good long sprays, will get the job done. But what does this smell like? So right off the rip, just smelling this in the air, really nice spice profile to this. Cardamom, there's a little hint of some cinnamon that's going on right now, some woodiness, like a cedar that's going on. Juniper berry adding like a fresh spice to it as well with a little hint of some sweetness coming through. This is a really nice spice profile. I'm digging this so far. Let's just dive in. Yeah, so right off the rip, just smelling this off the paper. Again, really nice spice profile. There's the cardamom. You're getting a little bit more of the juniper berry coming off of this, so it has that fresh spicy aspect, mixing in with some cypress, so it's got that kind of sharp cypress sort of vibe going on to it. And there is a bergamot in here, giving it a little bit of a liveliness, a little bit of kind of a tart citrus, but it's really more about that cardamom, that woody profile that's going on with that juniper berry. Little hint of some like vanillic sweetness coming in, but like I said, mostly about the spices right now, and they are really good. I'm liking this. As it's opening up a little bit more, the cinnamon's coming forward and that cedar is coming forward a lot more. So the cinnamon and the cardamom are adding a beautiful spice profile to this. The juniper berry is still there, so it adds that fresh spice to it, a little hint of a green touch, and a really nice kind of rich style of cedar. Has like that fresh spicy cedar sort of vibe going on to it that's mixing with that cardamom, that cinnamon, that juniper berry, and a little kiss of that vanilla still. The more this is opening up, the more this is just becoming just super enjoyable. I'm really liking this. Yeah, this is fantastic. With all those notes I've listed previously, they're all just kind of coming forward a little bit more and just getting more accentuated, more rich, more deep, a little bit more sweetness from that vanilla is coming up from the base, but it's really about that juniper berry, that cardamom cinnamon combination with that cedar wood right now. Gorgeous. Can't wait for the dry down on this one. So let's skip to the dry down, see how it unfolds, and we'll go from there. All right, back with the dry down of Ahmed Al Maghribi Soft. Been about an hour, let this settle down, do its own thing. Absolutely gorgeous dry down in this. I am loving this fragrance. It really kind of reminds me of like a chai tea with a twist. It's got that spice, that cardamom, that cinnamon, that cedar wood that's in there. It just really kind of comes together as like a chai tea style of centicord, but that juniper berry is stuck around and it still has this kind of like fresh, crisp, aromatic nature to it. So it kind of really uplifts those spices as well as that cedar wood. A little bit of musk and some sandalwood come through. So it's really kind of smoothed it out in the base as well, which is just like a really interesting texture for those spices and that aromatic juniper berry to sit on top of. And little hints of some vanilla, just adding a little bit of additional sweetness to kind of balance off those spices and that aromatic woodiness that's coming through. And through, this is really nice. This is gonna be a great fall fragrance. I'm really digging this one. It's pushing off the paper pretty good, as like most Ahmed Al Maghribis I'm finding are performing very well. So I am pretty stoked on this one. I'm really digging the scent profile on this. And for 35 bucks pending performance, I think this was an absolute banger of a fragrance. If you can't tell, I'm really, really happy. I think this is worth checking out. That's Ahmed Al Maghribi Soft. All right, so there you have it. That's 3 Middle Eastern fragrances, my first impressions and unboxing. But I want to hear from you guys. What are some other Middle Eastern fragrances you want to see me do a full review on, unboxing of? Comment down below. I love hearing from you guys. I love getting your different recommendations, your hidden gems, different tastes and scent profiles. Appreciate you. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.